No, I hope your last name isn't Phyllis.
Well, I don't think anybody out there will be, but I guess that's fine. Um, I'm thinking of becoming a famous musician, and
Are
when
you?
I do, I'm gonna use Phyllis like my Madonna
But
stage name. It's just gonna just Phyllis,
Just Phyllis.
and be like, what's her last name? And it'd be like, well, two things. He's a guy,
Yeah.
and B, no,
Okay.
it's just
I
Phyllis.
like to point out you didn't say an original letter. You just went straight to B. You said
B's
no.
the second thing.
Well,
And-
you didn't
and-
mention the first thing. You
Yeah, I
just
did.
went off on a tangent.
No, the first thing was that that it's a guy.
But no one, you didn't say A. So someone could like not make the connection.
It was just
Well,
implied
what
that
if you're
it.
talking to a mentally slow person?
Well, then I guess I'll repeat myself. What?
Alright. Okay. That's all I needed to know. I didn't need this
Okay,
sass.
I apologize. I didn't
Thank
mean
you.
to sass you.
Thank you.
Okay, fine.
He's Gavin.
And he's Nick.
And today is December 31st, 2014.
Yes.
Otherwise known as New Year's Eve.
It's about what, an hour or 40
It's
minutes.
actually a half hour. About 11:22.
38 minutes.
Close enough. Half hour. I mean, that's more close.
Who knows how late this is gonna actually be released though, because of price change.
I'm gonna guess December 31st, 2015.
Yeah, that's probably a good estimate. I was thinking, I think that's a little early if you want to push it, but I think maybe a better estimate's probably about
You gotta have a 2016
probably
present.
March 44th, 2077.
Yes, it's in.
Because
I'm actually. I didn't know if you knew this. March 44th, my favorite day.
oh,
It's actually the birth of Christ too.
that's really funny because that reminds me of.
Do you?
It doesn't, but I
Really?
do remember
Oh, you
there
know,
was something significant about March 44th. I think, other than Christ 2 being born, not Jesus Christ 2, just
Christ
Christ
2.
2.
You keep it up, Christy.
It's like a second generation of the family. It's like you know.
The
it's like-
grandson.
I'm not gonna say that I know a lot about Star Trek, but I knew that there was a new generation, right?
Was
and
there?
this is what Christ is.
I'm
It's
not
just
caught up on my Star Trek.
neither am I. That's why I'm just stating that before I
Alright.
anger anybody. I'm not gonna anger any Christ fans, and if I do, then I know
sorry.
more about it than you do because I mean, if you don't know about Christ too, then you're
What's
wrong.
wrong with your life?
It's
Come on.
just everything is what's wrong with their life. They don't know what Christ
I
is.
mean, it's just like if your name was Phyllis. It's
It is.
just that bad.
And not your first name, your last name, or your whole name.
Like, rest in peace.
Unless you're me in the future when I'm an artist.
I saw you in the
musical
future.
artist. Oh, did
Yeah,
you?
I know. You're terrible.
Oh, well, I know. That's the whole plan.
Coke. Just all off the Coke. No Pepsi, all Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I'll look the whole and then dustpans.
Dustpan.
I sometimes I get glimpses of the future and I just see
Dude.
like me with curlers in my hair
Why?
and then Phyllis everywhere and then
I don't want to live
and
in
then
this
dustpans and I'm confused as to what it all means, but back to the Christ thing.
future.
Anyway,
Right, Christ 2.
Christ the second generation.
Right.
Not like Jesus Christ or God grandfather, Jesus Christ father, and then
Christ 2.
or no, he'd be great grandfather, then grandfather, then father, then son. That would be the second
Right.
generation.
It's
Right?
Christ 2.
Christ too. So it's a whole new thing. It's
Mhm.
like people like
It's like the weird cousins down the block.
no, not even. It's like
Really?
it's like um it's like Adam Sandler and J.J. Abrams were like, hey, we don't like each other, bye. And then some
Yeah.
other production company somewhere else was
Alright.
like, you know what? I loved the first Star. They went to God and they're like, hey,
As
I loved
do.
the first Star. I love your the whole books and everything you made. It was awesome. But what would you think if we redid the movies? And so they did, and that. But
with
here's-
God's approval, of course.
no.
They
That was,
did it
that
without
was,
his approval.
That was the big deal, is that there was no approval, and so everybody's like, whoa, you
So
made
it's
God
like,
angry.
So like, if you didn't like it, just dead. This is how it works. I'm not
I-
up to date.
I don't know. I think once they're like, hey, or I think he threatened them to kill them if they
Oh.
released it,
Okay.
which, I mean, they haven't released it yet, but I think once they will.
It's on
The
the
whole
maps.
thing was, is they're like, hey, well, I found a loophole in the contract of the whole death contract, because those exist.
Because they signed it. So I
Um,
remember.
Oh no, yeah, they totally agreed to it.
Huge
but
publicity.
they didn't even. They could have just walked away and said no, but instead they're like, "I will sign our lives."
They thought he was just
but,
kidding.
But they're like, you know what? What if we just stop believing in you? And he's like, "Ooh, we can do that."
It's like,
and they're like,
watch this.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happened, and so they did it, and so that's how they're gonna get away with it. So they're gonna release it in
I'm
March
excited.
45th because they
they don't want to do it on Christ 2.
Well, the whole thing is so many places were booked for Christ 2, and actually no, this
okay.
is
Okay, that makes sense.
that was a different thing. That was a different movie, but no, because they want to do the midnight releases. So right when they released, it was technically be midnight of the 44th.
Not midnight of the 43rd.
No.
That's stupid.
No, because it gives them a whole day to have like pre-release parties and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And so. But yeah, so that's what they're doing, and they're gonna have that.
This is really 2 years from now. Did you say next year?
I said I didn't actually say the year yet.
I thought
March.
you did.
Sorry. Maybe I did. I don't think I did. I think I just said March 40th.
But if you
March
had to
45th.
throw out a guesstimate.
But I'm thinking. I think they wanted to do 2015, but the whole leprechaun situation.
Yeah.
Don't need
those
to do that.
leprechauns.
Yeah,
they just ruined it.
It's not to get all crazy about that, but so I'm thinking 2016.
Okay.
Just because I feel like that's it's the year of the animal in China and
our spirits be with you.
One of the many, but one of the 12. But it's like, come on, 1/12 is a pretty good guess. But anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
I'm excited for this
China
movie.
2016, second generation. Actually, I'm really interested to see what it's about because when they told I heard that they're redoing the original story, like they're just making it look different and they're kind of changing it. Turns out they just kept the name. They're doing
completely different story.
There literally has no relation to religion or Christianity
nothing
or Christ,
to anything.
Jesus, God,
but
Muhammad, cheesecake.
I did
nothing.
hear they did book Kevin James for a cameo appearance. I do remember reading about that.
Where did you read that?
I read it on the New York Limes. It's a newspaper dedicated to Limes, but they had this Kevin James article, and I was like, I love you in Grown Ups, so I was like, why not check it out on the New York Limes?
I mean, does he still have the...
Yeah, he still has that.
Okay. That's good. Is it still brown?
No.
Oh.
No. He changed it to more red.
That's
but instead of
look.
like in a line sort of thing, it's more like patches of squares. Like I don't really get it.
Like, is it like a stereotypical hobo pants or like checkers?
Checkers. It's more just like checkers.
Oh.
Like I think he modeled it after checkers. Actually, he put a checkers board on his face.
I think I'm gonna go talk to the people at DC and be like, yo. You see this
Washington D.C.
Washington D.C. comics.
Right. Okay.
Yes. And I'm gonna talk to them.
Big fan of Ratman.
Yeah. Talk to them about not Kevin James. They should hire him as a new villain, and it'd be
How would they hire Kevin James as a villain for comic books?
Well, more like they're gonna pay him money for his likeness.
Okay.
But
okay, I would do that.
He's gonna be a new villain, Checkerface.
Checkerface.
Yeah, he's gonna be Checkerface. He's gonna be a new guy.
Okay.
As opposed to an old guy. But when he is, so it's gonna be Kevin James, with his checker thing, and he's gonna be standing on a building when they enter, and
who
he's
is
gonna.
They who enters?
Oh, I mean like when you enter the comic book, when you open it up. And you just see Checkerface modeled after Kevin James, and he's sitting there with his hands behind his back, and he's like towering above the city on like the corner of the balcony, because that's the way they always do it.
That's how the villains do it.
Balcony, rule of thirds, come on. Anyway, and so he's like bowing before, and then some stuff happens.
Right.
Story's unimportant, but it's a great story, but it just sucks at the same time.
Look at you, Dustin.
And yeah, Dustin ruining all the stories. Anyway, so in the end, he actually, spoiler alert.
Oh.
So if you want to hear spoiler?
I'm a big fan of spoilers.
Okay, good, because
I love them.
Sometimes I'm just like, I want my boil, but I like spa better than B, so I want my spoil. Yeah.
Alright.
So he actually becomes. So you would have thought that he would become Two-Face's sidekick.
I did think that.
But turns out Two-Face becomes Checkerface's sidekick.
Really?
Yeah. He becomes so high up in the villain level that not only did he kill Joker 5 times.
That's no one's ever done that before.
But I'm just kidding about that.
Oh.
But
you
can't tell anybody.
All
but
right.
because this comic hasn't come out yet. His spoiler alert.
It was only 9. Wink, wink.
Anyway, so. But yeah, but then he became the mentor to Two-Face. Yeah, so they both got faces.
Actually, I read a spoiler alert about the entire ending of Checkerface. Would you like to hear? Well, I'm gonna tell you.
No.
Guess what?
Please don't tell me.
Close your ears. I'd like to speak out loud. So Checkerface actually returns to the spot where, like, the first cover where he's standing like this, like this. Huge gust of wind comes out of nowhere, knocks him off the building. It's like the scene from the other guys where he just dies. Lands on the pavement.
Oh, he does.
And he died. Two-Face standing up there like, you could have just planted your feet. But you died. And then that's the end. And DC Comics goes bankrupt because the crowd goes just wild after this death.
Because they can't make profits anywhere else anymore.
Exactly.
But, so that happens, and then the next issue, it's just like
it's actually
Two-Face is just following him because he fell off the building and died.
I heard a rumor. I don't think it's true, but I heard a rumor that there's going to be a new brand, a new storyline where they're ghosts.
Oh.
And they fight the Ghostbusters.
Oh.
But like the Ghostbusters are the bad guys in the situation. They're like, who are you gonna call? And someone's like, I don't know, the Ghostbusters. And then they break into your house and they rob you. So the ghosts are like, we don't want this to happen to these fine citizens. So they
afraid no ghosts.
The ghosts will die to these Ghostbusters. So these ghosts fight the Ghostbusters, try to get these goods back. They're actually making into a movie adaptation.
Wow, that was fast considering the first one hasn't been happening.
Oh. So like I said, just a rumor, might not be happening.
Oh, just a rumor. All of this is speculation, of course. It's not 100% true. But,
Anyway.
Alright, so recently, because it's the end of the year.
I would take a guess, about 7 days ago, one of the worst holidays. Was it 7? 6? 7
in 27 minutes it'll be 7 days.
Okay.
But
so say we're 27 minutes into the future.
Okay.
7 days ago.
A week ago.
1 week ago.
We're gonna simplify.
Exactly. It was just one of the worst holidays I've ever had to experience.
Oh yeah. Shout out to the Christians.
You did this, Christians. Anyway, but I heard it's called this Christmas. You ever heard of this?
Considering I brought it up.
No. But but it's just in case you weren't aware, it's this tradition where
you weren't aware.
This is what the mountain people consume.
This is what the Christians celebrate.
Just in case you weren't aware, it's
yeah,
this tradition where
Justin
Christian
like
I called you out, JT. Where Christians they gather together and they exchange gifts. Gifts. Right.
I've heard some atheists actually celebrate this holiday.
Do they? I wasn't aware of this.
Well, it's more of because for some people it's like a. Actually, I don't follow atheists on Twitter either. I'm more of an Instagram guy. No.
Okay, social media puns.
Just kidding. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, but it's because it's a very westernized holiday too. Very very commercialized. Everybody sees it around.
I remember reading that on the lines.
So yeah, I also read it on a few lines before too.
No, lines. The New York lines.
Oh no, I'm talking about on the lines, as in like the big spider web that we all
Ooh,
sit on.
I don't want that. I don't want that. And I mean, webs. Come on.
Oh, but they compacted into your computer though, so it's okay.
But that's like, it's like getting your news from a secondhand source. The New York Limes comes directly out of the lime sprouts.
Oh, well, see, some of us aren't fortunate enough to have limes though, especially in a cold climate.
Really?
In the winter.
But we live nowhere near each other. Proving
Back
your point.
to the previous point. West and I's holiday, some of them celebrate it with their parents who are Christian, moving through generations, they just don't really do that. And then they're like, hey, I like getting presents, I like getting presents, I like spending money, I like using phone.
Pulling you out, phone. So unprofessional.
I know, all the time. Anyway.
Continuing with your story.
I forgot what I was talking about.
You were talking about exchanging gifts with your parents through the generations.
I was saying, yeah, so that's what I've heard. I've heard that certain things.
Did this happen to you 7 days ago? Because
I traded gifts with my parents. Yes.
Did you? What did you happen to get in this gift exchange?
I got some Tabasco hot sauce. It was the Chipotle one.
You got it again.
It's very smoky. Well, no, I got it. I had it for the first time at Chipotle a few weeks before, and I was like, wow, this is really good, because it's almost like barbecue sauce, but not really sweet or thick, and it's more spicy, so it's still got the smokiness, though, which is really, and the barbecue feeling, like and I also got a stick of salami.
Okay.
It's called sausage, but, air quotes, but,
you couldn't see
but, it looks and tastes like salami, and apparently it's mildly frowned upon in our society to take a stick of salami, unwrap it, and just eat it like an apple. Apparently...
Wait, hold on a minute. Who told you that this was socially unacceptable?
Nobody said literally the word socially unacceptable, but...
Did somebody imply it?
Everybody who witnessed me, yes.
Who witnessed you?
My father, my stepfather, and my mother.
Okay. Where do they live?
61972 Catsbury Drive.
Alright. Okay. We're gonna go down there. We're gonna tell them something.
We're gonna tell them.
We're gonna tell something. You got another thing coming. We're gonna. I don't understand. That's just wrong.
I also got some clothes, some pants that you made fun of me for.
I did make fun of those pants. You should have been here before. I thought they were sweatpants. They're not sweatpants.
I mean, they look kind of like sweatpants,
they look just like sweatpants.
But like, look at the fit though.
But you look weird, Al.
Yank a bit.
Call you out, D.
Yank that.
Never mind. Just made a terrible pun.
And some socks. Got some bear socks.
I saw
some Black American socks. Some
bear socks.
Some Native American. Got some Creative Cloud. It's pretty nice. Some headphones and some other stuff. I don't remember that stuff.
Alright, that's like the highlight.
Go back to you.
Me? You're gonna shift this over
I'm gonna shift this energy of Christmas receiving onto you.
A lot of the things I received. Johnny Cash. Just a ton of Johnny Cash apparel.
Did you really?
No, I'm lying. Just cash.
Just
the money, the paper monies. I got that.
I got stacking them Johnny Cash papers.
I got some those. I don't really know what they're called. They're like these giant pages, but they have words on them.
Are you referring to a book?
What is that?
It is a binding of shredded trees that have writing on them.
People shred trees for words?
No, they shred trees to get this thin stuff they call papper.
Papper?
And
they
print stuff on it, and they bind it together and put them into books.
That sounds lame. Anyway,
does it describe what you're talking about, though?
Yes, that accurately. It's an accurate description. I got 3 of those. I got a popular game, Cards Against Humanity. Have you heard of this?
I have heard of this.
Yes,
it's very, very inhumane.
It is. I've heard it's a
kills
party game.
humanity by the card.
I'm right. I play it down, person dies. I'm a murderer.
Yeah, that's why I haven't played it yet.
Right.
Mhm.
So I got that. I got some clothes. Interesting enough, I got the same shirt twice. Only difference
Oh.
was one had writing on it. One was it was a black outline. It was like the Burn Dairy logo where it's like got milk. It's got a cow. Except it's a giraffe. It says got giraffe. And
Oh.
the other shirt, it's just the logo. And I looked at it.
Just the draft.
Yeah. The strange thing about this, given both those shirts, given to me by the same person.
Mm.
I was like, this is interesting.
I also got two shirts. I forgot I got this one.
Did you?
And it's a little reflective.
Hmm.
And it kind of scares me sometimes because I'm like a cat, and the fact that when I see shiny things, I freak out.
And you have a tail.
Especially when it's connected to me. I'm like walking around. I'm like, ooh, sunlight on my shirt. And so I get scared. But it's also got turquoise, and I kind of like the black with the pop, you know.
I do notice
And
the
I also
turquoise.
got a white shirt where it's got
Ooh.
black outlines of like Hawaiian flower-looking things, kind of like
Oh.
tropical, like ferns and stuff. I'm a big
Oh.
fan of ferns. I know it may sound like a joke, but I'm completely honest. I really like just the way they look. It's just kind of cool to me.
Well, that's what you're
Some of
supposed
them,
to
at
do
least.
on
I
a
don't
shirt.
really like
There's not
like
much.
small.
Not
There's
much.
these one witch hazel. I think that might be the one. There's some sort of little fern that I'm just not a big fan of, but. Ferns aside,
Fern. I didn't even know we were talking about ferns.
I'm an aficionado.
Were you? Well, I was just back there dying.
Oh, I thought it
No, I was the hologram.
was
Gotcha.
You
Gotcha.
got me the hologram. You walked 3 feet away.
Yeah.
You coughed so hard.
Gotcha.
But you still looked like you're doing the same thing right here.
Gotcha.
Okay, well you
Gotcha.
got me. She got me.
Consider yourself got.
I've been had.
That you have, my dear Watson. I happen to have a question.
Would you happen to have a question
I
for
was
me?
thinking back to my days as a younger ruffian.
A younger ruffian.
Younger ruffian.
Did you rough up the other young ruffians?
No, I was the one that was roughed up.
Oh, well, at least you were you're a roughie. A ruffian.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a DVD that we used to watch.
Oh, the Laserdisc.
Right. There
And-
was
and,
one
and the-
called Brother Bear.
Oh.
I watched this movie a few times, and they had these spirit animals, the one animal that you would connect yourself with. And I was like, I wonder what my friends have to think of this.
Well,
I have a question.
before I go on to this, I'd like to point out, even being the younger one here, I am a little bit more old school, and I had the Brother Bear.
Did
I
you?
had it on a VHS.
Are you kidding me?
I had it on the cassette tape.
You had it on a VHS tape?
I did.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's-
I did, and I
that's
would
probably-
watch the crap out of that as a youngin. I wasn't a
Oh,
ruffian, but I
wonderful.
sure was a youngin. You
Yeah.
rough the
Yes,
thing.
The thing.
Wasn't much of a ruffian, but I was a youngin.
All right. But I.
But spirit now.
What is your spirit animal? What do you associate yourself with?
Well, I'm gonna give you two answers.
Two.
I'm gonna give you a domestic animal, and obviously a non-domestic animal. And I think my domestic animal, I think, honestly, I don't know, I think, I want to say turtle,
Okay.
but I think,
Turtle's a reasonable option.
I think turtle more I want to say turtle, but I think realistically I'm a cat.
I would say you're a cat by heart.
Not because of meow,
Because you have a tail.
and not because of meow. I mean, not because, not because of meow, and definitely not because of meow, and thirdly, not because of meow. But fourth, not because of tail, because turtles also have tails.
They do have tails, just not as noticeable.
That's true. But back to the thing, the turtles. But I think cat because I like to sleep.
All right, that's a great reason.
I like
That's
to
a great
sleep.
reason.
I like peeing on blankets.
You do that. I remember the day I walked in your house, I was like, hey Gavin, how's it? Ugh.
Yeah.
You're peeing on that blanket.
Okay, take that part back. I do try to get rid of whiskers. I don't really like collars. Collars.
Oh, collars. So you don't like people named Connor?
Actually, that's another thing I also have in common with cats. I don't like people named Connor. I really don't.
Really? Not
Except
even
for my friend Connor. He was cool.
Well, he's an exception.
Yeah, because he's my friend.
You know,
think
John
I
Connor.
you think I like a non-femme Carter?
That's
Connor?
Who's Carter?
I don't know.
Anyway.
Alright, you say one now.
Alright. Well, actually, I have two things for you. I have an animal. I have a story to tell.
Oh, well then.
So, first of all, I'm just gonna kick it off with my animal. It's a bear.
Oh,
I like to associate myself with a bear.
Okay. Well, then next time I'm gonna give my wild one. You gotta give your domestic
because
one.
not many people know this. I have a brother. He's a bear.
He's a bear.
His name was Harold.
But
now he's a bear, and I accidentally said, "Hey, Barold," instead of Harold. He liked that a lot.
Would his scientific name happen to be Ursa Heraldicus?
It's quite possible.
Heraldicus?
I'd have to look it up in the big book of scientific names
For
reference. But anyway, moving on with the story. There was a few years ago. You walked up to me one day and you said two sentences. They had to do with each other. They made no sense at all, and I was extremely confused. And you walked away. You walked up to me. You said, "Hey, this was not the first sentence." And I was like, "How you doing?" And you said, "Jesus is a bird, specifically a crow, and Jesus is a garbage truck." And you walked away. And I was like, that was weird. So the next morning, I was waiting outside for the bus because I have to do that. And a garbage truck passed by my house. Only time I've ever seen it do that. So I was like, huh, that's weird. Then a crow happened to come and land next to me. Like, I was like, okay, there's a bird. I hear it out. And then I just, this has nothing to do with spirit animal.
Just touched you mentally
and emotionally.
Or emotionally, that's probably a better one.
And like, you associated Jesus with me, and the crow, part of my spirit animals, is that and the bear, because my brother's a bear. And that because of that was my story. And there you go.
Jeez, if there's anything you take from this, it's one of two things. Your name shouldn't be Phyllis, or crows and garbage trucks are Jesus.
Represent Jesus.
Yeah, you represent, they just are Jesus.
Oh, really? All garbage trucks and crows.
All of them. Alright, but so I'm gonna tell you I might think of a story if I can think of something relevant.
To end off this episode? Seem to be running out of time.
But I forgot. Oh yeah. I got my wild animal for the thing. What's gonna say? I didn't really think about it.
Would it be like a tiger? Because it's like a cat.
No, it's yeah. I mean, I guess.
Tiger.
But a cat is a tiger. Shut up. Or a tiger is a cat. Whatever. Baby.
Well, I'm pregnant.
Oh, well, that's why I can hear it. Audible baby, audible baby.
It's like Audible the book service. But when you're pregnant, they just shove it down your throat, and it makes its way to the womb.
It's like edible books that you can feed to your baby via umbilical cord,
and then you can just hear it whenever you want.
And then when you go to get like an ultrasound or a mammogram, something completely different. There's something that's similar to that when it does to me. But anyway, a sonogram, that's what I was thinking of. Or an ultrasound thing. And you get to see your baby. You just see it reading, or not even reading a book, because Audible's an audiobook series, right?
Mm-hmm. So you could just be like,
so you see baby, but you see her wearing headphones, listening to a book, and just on the edge of her,
or his,
her or his or its. Maybe it's not decided yet.
Maybe it's
It's
hold on that choke.
It's on its little chair inside of the little Woomble chair.
Woomble chair, those exist.
Woomble. Also has a motorcycle. So the baby's sitting there and it's like Woomble. And it wants to drive away, but it can't because it's inside your uterus. But anyway, so yeah, Woomba baby, audible baby.
Did you have a story to tell?
Did I?
You were gonna try to tell me a story, and then I said tigers are cats, or tigers aren't cats, and then you heard a baby, mine, and we got to baby audible voice, and Woomba Wooch.
Woomba.
It sounded like a new exercise service.
It's like Zumba, but for baby, for
freshly newborn.
No, not even freshly newborns. This is for feti, as in the plural fetus.
Looking at you, Dustin.
You are many feti, Dustin. Many feti. And yeah, but that's. So if you ever want to take your feti to a audio book club, I guess, there's Woomba for you. Woomba. Also, they're dancing. I forgot this is actually so it's actually it's a dance.
Dancing.
It's a dance.
Dancing book club.
Dancercise, jazzercise,
Book club.
any of those. But it's a book club.
But it's an actual book club.
It's an exercising book club.
Yeah. So like, all right, lady, let's turn the page.
Welcome to any fetus and or living book that would like to dance and exercise.
Well, mothers are welcome to come if they wish. No. They're not.
Well,
How is the fetus
not
gonna get
not if I'm there.
You're not allowed to be your mother. What happened? Does this have anything to do with this?
Woomba.
Oh, they're motorcycle noises.
Motorcycle inside. Meanwhile, this is still taking place inside the room, inside the usual
no
space.
Pain.
No pain.
No pain, no gain.
The spirit animal.
That was a long time ago.
Tigers, lions, tigers, bears.
Right.
Insert Wizard of Oz quote here. Who decided? I'm pretty sure the clock makes the same sound when it goes second to second. It doesn't go tick tock. It just goes tick tick tick.
Well, there's a slight difference.
It keeps changing in the general noise, but like I'm saying, like it doesn't have one noise for this and one noise for that, and one noise for this.
I understand what you're saying.
I think it's tick tick tick, and then sometimes the pitch switches up and it's talk talk talk
pitch
talk
switch.
talk tick tick. Yeah, it's a pitch switch pitch. It's
interchangeable.
It's a pitch switch.
Whatever that is.
It's the pitchiest of all situations. It's like a chip witch.
Random question: do you know anybody named Butch?
Don't.
Not do I.
There was a Butch in something that I watched recently though.
Was it Butch Husky by any chance?
No, it was actually Pulp Fiction.
Was it?
Yeah, there's you have.
John Travolta's name isn't Butch.
No, it is Vincent.
It is.
But
Samuel Jackson's name
is Jules.
Jules.
But anyway, Butch is the third main character. But
Is it?
he's a boxer. But anyway, speaking of movies. What's the segues? What's probably at the top of your list, at least right now, or if you can think of your all-time, then do that. But if not,
favorite movies.
Then, yeah. Of all time or right now.
I had a list. My favorite movie of all time has to be Black Hawk Down.
I actually haven't watched Black Hawk.
I love that movie. It's like if you like action-y and like I guess historical stuff. Check Black Hawk Down. It's about the U.S. attack or assault on, I believe, it's not Somalia. Forgive me, I can't think of the name. It's a country.
When did this actually happen?
It happened like 1990, 1991. It happened somewhere around there. I might be wrong, forgive me. But on a completely different movie note, one of my other favorite movies is Thunderball.
Thunderball.
James Bond movie, Thunderball. I
Like
watched that movie as a kid, and I liked it.
I'm sure you did. You managed to pick two movies I've never watched.
Really?
I've heard a lot more about Black Hawk Down than I have about Thunderball.
Black
But
Hawk
obviously I've
Down's
heard a lot
highly
about James Bond, just not specifically that movie. I'm a new kid to the world,
movie scene.
and so James Bond specifically, I've only watched newer stuff.
My dad is a very avid James Bond fan. He is all, or most, if not all, of the James Bond movies upstairs.
But I watched all the Daniel Craig ones, except for I don't think I watched Quantum of Solace.
I haven't. I've only watched Casino Royale.
I think Skyfall's still on Netflix.
Is it? I'll have to check that. But if you had to have your favorite movies in no particular order.
In no particular, I'd say I don't know. South Park movies definitely out there.
That is a good movie.
That is
I love that
classic.
movie.
That's pretty amazing. Just because it's just, especially if you haven't seen the series before, it's such
It'll
a
give you a good
introduction.
It's
I
also
mean,
some of Matt Stone and Trey Parker's finest work.
It's
if you ask
pretty
me.
great, yeah.
Have you seen their movie Basketball?
Basketball?
Basketball.
I've never heard of that. No.
Matt Stone and Trey Parker, where they play two nerds who they made a sport to try to impress girls and end up becoming millionaires.
That's pretty awesome. Honestly.
That's what it says on the Netflix tag.
I think I might check that out. But anyway, back to it. Completely opposite of South Park, except pretty much yeah. I think one of my favorites right now, as I told you earlier, was Django Unchained.
Django. That is very different.
That is very different.
I'm interested in looking at that.
It's pretty good. I mean, I was just like, I mean, it's gnarly though. There's some, and the way I mean, Quentin Tarantino is like, he's probably one of my favorites. He's a really.
I used to get him and John Travolta confused.
Those are very different people.
I know.
But they've worked on a movie together, or maybe more. But yeah, that movie's pretty good. That's probably. I don't think I've won that.
Actually, one of my favorite movies is actually The Hunger Games. The first Hunger Games, I actually really liked that
That was
movie.
pretty good. Yeah, I watched the one. Like it's
like the
movies,
second one.
All the things they really change like the way it progresses, but like the first movie is one way and it's really good in that way, and then the second movie is really good too, but it's a different story, and it's like
the sequels have always never been as good.
Well, I think
I liked the movie, the sequel, but I just prefer the first one by a lot.
Especially, yeah, it's like, because it's like the whole
especially because
beginning story.
I didn't know what I was expecting.
And I'm sure, like, as an overall, it's good together, but I think, like, the other two movies so far are more like, they're pieces of the series, whereas the first one is better as its own thing, like its own individual thing, like, where the other ones have to be with that.
I would know, because I haven't seen the third one yet, the newest one.
It was pretty good. It was it was a little bit more gritty, I guess, but at the same time, it wasn't, I don't know. I guess it was cool, because it was a whole revolution thing, I like the revolution stuff.
American Revolution.
America.
America. Looking at you, Dustin.
Dustin will let America, yeah. I done did it. I
really
found my
hope-
America.
I really hope he just doesn't watch this.
I hope he never does. Because, and
So-
if he does,
And then because then I'll like, I mentioned you. He'll be like, what do you mean? And I'll be like, later. Like,
That'll
see you
be-
in 10 minutes.
Dustin,
yeah.
I have something to tell you.
What?
Why are you pausing?
Why do you keep talking like this?
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Hey, yo, Speed Racer.
Jokes.
And I already figured out the point was.
Oh yeah, we talked about you. Later.
and then just run off like this.
For everyone who doesn't know, which is everyone, later is an inside joke.
Later.
Hey, where are you going? Later.
Hey, how's it going? Hey. I have to go.
Later. Anyway.
Oh, Woomba.
Have you made any progress on Dustin the movie?
I
Starring
have
Arnold
not.
Schwarzenegger?
Turns out Mr. Schwarzenegger is
He's
not
working
the
on the new
easiest to
term.
book for low-budget movies, especially when the budget's below $1.
Wow.
Apparently, he's not a fan of that.
$-.
Not getting paid or something like that.
He's a fan of making random Facebook videos. I'll
Oh.
just be like on the 4th of July, I'll be like, Happy Holidays. I love America. And I'll be like, you're Arnold. And they'll
Is
be
it
like,
weird?
hey, Arnold.
Isn't it weird how probably one of, if not the most famous governor of the United States
Isn't American.
he's Austrian, which is so weird to think about. Getting political with ya. Huzzah!
Ah.
Ta-da.
We're coming at you with some smooth jazz today. Nick's got some turntables for his hip hop, but he's not gonna use them because today is chill. You're on 97.5.
Actually, do me a favor. What time is it? I should have. It's the new year.
It was the new year, approximately 2 minutes ago.
Happy
Aren't
New
we good at
Year.
missing? And the best thing is we could lie and said it was now.
Yeah, but I don't feel like lying. Happy New Year.
Happy
everybody.
New Year.
Welcome
I'm
to
thirsty.
Welcome to 20. Would you like a drink?
After this, maybe we should just cut it off now then.
I think that's a good stopping point at
you know
2
what?
minutes
Who
after
knows-
the new year.
Who knows when the second one's gonna come out and how much better or worse it may be. But
Alright, but that's Gavin.
and that's Nick over there, and you can't tell us apart. And go eat a bear.
I hope. Well, wait, hold on.
No,
Don't
that's
eat a
it.
bear.
No, I'm
Don't
gonna
eat
have
a
him
bear.
first base. I'm gonna do it.
Don't you
no,
do it.
No,